G'day guys, hope you've been keeping well. Back again with another precious metals video today. So today I'm going to talk about Australian pre-decimal coins, or more widely known as junk silver. So certainly not as popular or even known as its American counterparts, but the history behind these Aussie coins are pretty interesting. So firstly, I'm just going to show you our current decimal coin. So for anyone who's ever visited Australia, you would have definitely have seen these. So firstly, this is our 50-cent piece. It's got a pretty unusual shape, and I think it's quite distinct to a lot of other coins that you'll see out there. So this is just a 50-cent piece today. It's got the queen at the back, and one of the cool things about Aussie coins is that quite regularly, the mints here will do various commemorations and things on these coins. So whilst this is the standard one, there are a lot of different variations of this front design that you'll see on the 50-cent piece. Also on the 20-cent piece, which the standard one just shows the platypus. Now the 10-cent is quite standard, like they don't really do any other designs for this one. Same goes for the 5-cent piece. And the rate things are going, this little guy here will probably be gone the next couple of years, I reckon, but we'll see how it goes. Before, there used to be a 1 and 2-cent piece as well, but they were discontinued 10 or more years ago. I think close to 10-20 years ago at this point. So this is our $1 coin. Again, this is just a standard $1 piece. Obviously no gold in it, but it's still quite nice. It's just got the kangaroos. Now they do a lot of other various designs on the front of this one as well, so you'll see a lot of variations there. And same goes with the $2 coin as well, so a lot smaller. But yep, once in a while, they will do a lot of other designs. So, it's quite fun just collecting them sometimes as well, but it's not something I overly commit to. But, a little bit of a fun novelty once in a while. Now, in front of me is a 1 kilo stack of Australian pre-decimal coins. Mind you, they're a little dirty. I keep telling myself I'm gonna have to clean these eventually, but I've honestly just never got around to it. Don't know when I will, but hopefully one day the time will come about. So, quick history to these. Obviously, so when New South Wales, the first colony, oh my goodness, in Australia was founded in 1788, there was a massive shortage of coins. So, not so surprising as it. Australia, if you know where it is on the map, is literally on the other side of the world from Britain, the United Kingdom, and any other Western or British colonies at that point. So the lads down here had to rely on coins of other countries, among other things like bartering and all that. So I actually had no idea, but hey. So from what I've read, there was a mix of Spanish, Dutch, English, and various other nation coins, which were recognized as legal tender for a period of time. And it wasn't until a wee bit later, when Federation came about in 1901, where Aussies finally had the constitutional power to issue its own coins. It took around 10 years for, the guys down here to get their act together, but finally in 1910, the first Australian silver coins are produced. So, now, the coins I have here are actually like they're you can divide the junk silver production in Australia into 2 periods. Now this is the second period. The first period, which came from 1910. So Australia's first Commonwealth pre-decimal coins were actually still struck in mints in London and some other nations, which were part of the Commonwealth at the time. Now they feature the king, obviously, with all these coins. Like most Australian coins and other nation coins will generally feature the monarch. So we still have Queen Elizabeth here for at this point, but if you look at some of these other coins, it actually has that's still one of the queens. I've lost the coin. Oh, here we go. So if you can actually see this one here, it actually has the portrait of one of the kings. So within this period, there was a few change in monarchs at the time. They didn't cover them all, but a few of them would have been featured. So there's actually a few different monarchs on the back of these coins. Now, the first coins that were minted between 1910 and 1945 contain 92.5% silver. So most places I have found which sold the higher percentage of silver are actually all sold out and have been for some time. So it's actually been quite hard to get your hands on it. The few places that I did see, I I couldn't justify paying the premiums for it, so I've just sort of let it go. I wasn't too fussed. Now, as I was saying, it's this lot I have here are coins minted between 1946 and 64, which comprise of 50% silver, so still a decent amount of silver in it. Now, from what I've read, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, in the comments, I haven't gone into the full historical fact checking here, but in 1946, due to the costs incurred during World War II, the silver content of the coins was reduced from 92.5% to 50% of the coin weight. And this lasted until decimalization came about in 1966. So, I mean, that does sound fairly reasonable. I did read this off a number of websites, so I'm not out on a bit of a vengeance to sort of prove them wrong, but interesting bit of history there as well. So these do come in a few different sizes. I bought these in the early days of COVID, actually. So this one here is the Florence. So you can see that a lot of the designs have sort of transcended through these coins. I don't know, like intentionally, unintentionally. I haven't read too far down. It could be a lack of creative designs and all the rest of it as well. But I still think it's kind of cool that you can see the history sort of passing through the coins. So I bought these, as I was saying, I bought these in the early days of COVID when there was a bit of a mad buying frenzy. I can't believe we're already at the point of the year where we're saying early days. I mean, what a year 2020's been. But basically, in my search for silver bullion, I was influenced by other silver YouTubers who had talked about the value of junk silver in their stacks. So I was lucky enough to find a place which sold them in kilo lots. So I found a place, grabbed the first kilo, and no regrets. Interesting enough, I'm just still surprised it's just not as popular or as talked about as bullion is. But when I see other YouTubers, especially in the States, talking about junk silver, it does get me a bit envious that there is such a this sort of niche collecting and community there. So hopefully through time that will grow in Australia as well. Now this is for people who don't know, and it turns out a lot more people don't know as one might think. I mean, I had no idea as well, but here we have is in the 1966 Australian 50-cent coins. Now this was struck and issued as 80% pure silver, and so they just basically know it's rounds. They're literally round. And this is the 50-cent piece we have today. So all that's really changed, is from the design is the literal shape from them. Now these as well, like these are interesting, like a little easier to find. There's a few more bullion dealers that do sell these once in a while. I guess just it's a bit more of a collectible, a bit more of a it's slightly easier to collect than these smaller pieces, which can come quite small. So this here we have is the 3-pence piece. So if you just compare the size, there's a significant difference. So if you're just collecting this for its higher silver ratio as well, it does make a lot more sense. These were obviously discontinued eventually as well, just because of decimalization coming about. But I did grab a little stack for myself here as well. And these ones, I think I will keep collecting them as I do come about them, and through any drops that do come dips in prices, I probably will grab more should they become available. But yeah, it's a pretty just cool looking little piece there. So yeah, as I was saying, overall, a little disappointed junk silver is not as readily available as it appears to be in the States. However, it is what it is. I haven't actually bought more since my initial purchase. It's nice to have some in the collection. However, I'm not sure what it is. The lack of the general market or the general scarcity of it. I haven't been too swayed in going back and trying to expand my stack of junk silver, opposed to regular bars or coins. This may change. Who knows? It's been a weird year, and anything can really happen. But for now, I'm content with this. This little stack I have for the moment. But hey, should I come across a good deal where I can grab them at a pretty good price, probably will. As any good stacker would. So, well, guys, that's it for today. Somewhat of an intentional history lesson. However, I hope international stackers and any Aussies who may be watching who weren't across this like myself found it interesting enough. So please like and subscribe, and most importantly, please let me know your thoughts on stacking junk silver and your general thoughts on Aussie junk silver as well. Cheers.